What up?
Got a question for you, man.
Let's do it.
What does what does it really look like to outgrow your relationship?
Hmm.
Like, what does that really look like? Have you ever done that? What does that feel like? Like, what are the components of that? Like, what does that feel like?
I think it almost goes to something we said one time before. I feel like outgrowing your relationship looks like losing value in it. When it no longer holds its weight to you anymore. I don't want to say lose respect. I think you can respect the person and still lose value in it. When it no longer is meeting whatever need you felt like it met, I think that's outgrowing it for me.
So, for me, outgrowing a relationship, first of all, I don't think that has anything to do with, at least from a judgment perspective, I don't think it makes one person better than the next.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we there's a narcissistic approach to saying you outgrew something.
Hmm.
And it's like, oh, I outgrew them, and it's about flaws. Whereas what you said, like you said, it's all about like, but but what you bring to the table, is it meeting the needs that I have currently in the moment?
Hmm.
And have we talked about it? Have we communicated healthily about it to kind of say, hey, these are the things that I'm looking for. These are the things that I need. This is where I'm at in my life. This is how I'm growing. And so when that partner chooses not on like intentionally to not grow with you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then when I say choose not to grow, choose not to acknowledge the things that you had in a healthy conversation, like the things that you literally brought up with, credible or substantial evidence to support their point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I, I like what you said. When it doesn't, it's not a narcissistic thing. We say, I've outgrown relationships where I wasn't the better person.
Yeah,
And that's hard to say.
yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't the better person.
yeah.
I didn't leave or it didn't work not because I was so much better than they were. I wasn't where they were. It just didn't work. It didn't satisfy what I needed. I'd rather I'd rather two people be able to mutually come together and say, hey, this is not working, than it get to the part where you do something to disrespect each other.
I think circumstances have a lot to do with, you know, when I say outgrowing, it's not even so much, again, big I, little you. It's about the directions that the lives are going in independently.
Hmm.
So, my life is just taking me in a direction, whether it be unfortunate circumstances, whether it be, the reality of it all. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, it's not even about have I outgrown it? Is this relationship stopping me from growing?
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, am I, and not so much even settling, because again, I'm trying not to use those words because those words have been used with a negative connotation.
Oh yeah.
So it's not so much settling, it's just when you identify that I, as a person, I'm not growing from this. I spend a lot of time worrying about it, and I put a lot of energy into a thing that, because of its dynamics, are not able to yield the results or reciprocate the results that I need for me to continue to grow and thrive and be the best that I can for this relationship, but most importantly, myself.
Where you are now, like in age and then where you are in your life, is it easier for you to identify when it's just not working?
I think it's way easier, but because I care more now, it's harder to let go of a thing that you've been attached to,
Mm-hmm.
and that you chose to allow a thing to continue to linger that you knew wasn't growing.
Yeah.
Because still, at the end of the day, feelings are involved. I'm so sensitive now. Let me say this without crying.
Sen-
Somebody was in the comments asked if I was crying. I was not crying. I don't the lighting. I don't know.
sensitive in your old
But
age.
I'm old. I'm sensitive, and so the little things matter to me.
Hmm.
Feelings matter to me. My own, like, because I'm becoming more. I'm becoming more concentrated with being self-interested in a positive way,
Hmm.
meaning learning my love language and then communicating what that is so that
Hmm.
I can really get the results that I need. You know what I mean? To win in my relationship life. Because I'm a type of person, I'm gonna say it like this. I need relationship to thrive, to grow, to now that doesn't mean that I'm anxious for it,
Yeah.
but I need it. I feel like relationship in the right capacity, in the right space, from the right person, it doesn't complete me, but it definitely makes me better.
I got two things I'm gonna say, and I really want to come back to what you just said.
Yeah.
Um, the I lost my first one. Don't even remember what it was.
Oh.
So the second thing what the second thing I was gonna say, to respond to that though, seriously, is I think relationship does make some men better. I believe I'm a better version of myself when I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. It don't mean I'm gonna just jump into anything or just do anything, but I can see that it does add a benefit to it. I just remember what I was gonna say when you were saying that you're at the age now where it's harder for you to break things off. It reminded me of a pod we had when I
Yeah.
said I'm a habitual go backer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll stay in something I know ain't working
Yeah.
just to say I'm in something sometimes, and that's a horrible, that's a toxic trait that I have.
So let's sit in that for a second,
Yeah.
though. Like, stay in something that you know not working. Again, I want to push the narrative that it not working does not mean that you're being toxic towards each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, sometimes it's just about things just not adding up.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we have to be ever so conscious, ever so careful, because none of us is getting younger. Time is waiting on nobody.
I'm getting younger now.
I'm not.
You're not.
I'm 35 going on 56.
Man of God is old.
I'm old and I'm walking heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But no, so and I think that one thing you can't get back is time.
Yeah.
And so you really got to count the cost, and it takes a level of commitment, it takes a level of communication that's always growing the relationship, or when you realize it's not growing, equally having the dexterity, the maturity to say, okay, it's not.
What does make you stay, or what has made you stay when you knew it wasn't going to work? Was it the potential in the person? Because if I had to answer that, I would say I've stayed because I kept thinking there was potential. And I know we always talk about, don't date for potential. But let's be true. Sometimes when you get to know a person, you do see potential, and you do see this could really go somewhere. They could really be this in life. If they did this would help them. When you've stayed, why have you stayed?
I stayed because I was scared to leave.
Why were you scared to leave?
I was scared to leave because, a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. You know what you got. You don't know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And in relationship, we want, men like to be alone, but they don't like to be by themselves.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? And so, it's and just being honest. It's like, okay, if we're not together, I want you to live your best life, but there's a certain part of me that's conscious enough to say, but what if her best life is not with me? That's still gonna hurt. That's still gonna hurt. And like, we can act like it doesn't, but that stuff hurts, man. And it's just one of those things. Like, I've stayed because, I'm a people pleaser,
Mm-hmm.
or I've been a people pleaser. Let me say it that way. And you don't want to hurt someone else's feelings, and
Mm-hmm.
and so you try to pull out good nutrients, But then it's like, okay, like I was talking to a mentor before, all you're doing is delaying the inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all about, at the end of the day, the relationship has to remain healthy. It has to remain, growing, and it has to remain honest. Like, those hard, and I think there's times in a relationship where sometimes you got to have hard conversations every day.
Yeah.
Because there's a space where it's just required, because it's like, I don't want to let this go. I can't let this go. I love you. I don't want my life without you, and I need a conversation right now to let me know I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah. I stayed for two reasons.
Yeah.
I stayed for the potential of a person.
Yeah.
I've also stayed, and this might sound bad for some people, but I've also stayed because what I really wanted hadn't shown itself yet.
Ooh.
Hadn't got here yet. So I stayed until I saw what I wanted.
Ooh.
That's been true. Because what do I always say? Your current option
Are not your only options.
is not your only option. And I'm not saying that don't sound good all the time, but we all stay for different reasons. I've stayed for the potential, and I've stayed because what I was looking for just hadn't came around yet.
And I think when you stay, when you know there's an exit near, you're delaying the recovery and the restoration process, not only for you, but for that person as well.
Yeah.
And so at what point are we selfless enough? At what point are we conscious enough to where, at some point, even if I'm not worried about myself, I'm worried enough about you to say, hey, this isn't even growing you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so, I just try to, now at 35, I just try to, and I say it because I'm old.
Old.
Real old. I'm old.
Don't say weird. I heard you tried to slip a weird in there. Don't do that. No.
But the little bit I have means so much. So the little bit of heart I got left means so much.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Where you're at now,
Yeah.
is it easier for you to identify this ain't it? Let me cut now.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you something. Ever since that red flags episode, red flags are no longer yellow.
They're not orange.
They are not orange, and I see them clear as day.
Mhm.
And I literally can pipe. I can pipe out the things that are okay. This look crazy. This sound crazy. This look dumb. This sound dumb. And a duck is a duck in my life right now, and I'm able to identify.
And what you got to do,
Yeah,
is you got to have people in your camp that can see even when you get colorblind.
yeah.
Cause I called you a couple weeks ago. Like, hey, I'm not sure if this is orange or red.
Yeah.
Let me run this by you.
And
you confirmed
it is red.
It's big red.
Bright
It's Clifford. It's Clifford the big red dog. And I appreciated that. But I think you got to have people in your camp that can see colors when you can't, and you got to run that by them. And I know for me, I'm getting more so too. Even if I see it, what I do appreciate about my growth.
Yeah.
My growth now, I'm gonna immediately tell you, hey, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't know if that's truth, but for me, it feel like a lie. And if it and where I'm the things I've been through in my life, I can't even feel like something's a lie anymore.
I think in a space where I'm at right now, if I can't be 100% what it means to be a man of leadership, a man of character, a man of vision in a relationship, like if I can't provide those things, then like I gotta let it go because we both don't deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go find vision for $9.99 at Walmart. I need to go find it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you can holler submission all you want to, but a woman shouldn't follow no man that, doesn't have leadership potential, doesn't have vision, doesn't have clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Don't pray. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't hear from, I'll say from God, but from some sort of higher power, some sort of mentor. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I think that's a good revelation. And some of this stuff we don't learn till we get older.
Yeah.
I look back and thought I was a really good, at one point, good husband. Thought I was a good boyfriend, or whatever I was to whoever. And I look back and I realize now, I might not have been as good as I thought I was. I might not have been leading as well as I thought I was. I missed the steps.
I think I got to a spot where I realized that I wasn't leading. I was just doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was just doing, and there was no vision attached to it, and we both suffered.
Yeah.
And so for me, at the spot where I'm at now, I thank God for the little bit I got, but I can't waste it. I can't waste the resources. I can't waste the little bit of heart I got left. I tell people all the time, just because you got a broken heart, it can still be used again, because the broken pieces are honestly your best pieces, because they're still there. We ain't talking about the pieces that fell on the floor and got washed away. I'm talking about the broken pieces that literally fell on the table. They're still there. They're usable. Yeah. You just can't waste what's left. Yeah. You can't waste it. And so, when it comes to, dealing with relationship, I just think that everybody in the situation has to be, overly mature, overly considerate, overly aware. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when you stay too long, it really does become unhealthy, and you learn bad habits.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a counselor I went to years ago made a comment, and they were saying, they weren't even talking about just marriage. She was saying in relationships you should have check-ins. Yeah. And I took that away. Yeah. And I think that she was saying you all decide if you want to make it weekly. She recommended weekly. Yeah. And that was profound, because I had never thought, like, in a relationship or in a marriage, like, we need to check in. And I think, when you say, how do you know when, it's over, or when, it no longer is serving a purpose, I think if you're checking in weekly, you kind of know. And, and you give the opportunity to address how you're feeling, so nobody's getting hurt, nobody's lingering. Because check in with the person you're talking to.
In a healthy relationship, when you're in it, or even when you leave it, it was healthy, or it is healthy when no one leaves the conversation hurt. Mm-hmm. Everybody should leave empowered. Yeah. Everybody should leave edified. Everybody should leave the situation being 10 times more aware, or more connected, at least, to the dynamics of the relationship. And if you leave hurt, there's a high potential from me. I'll say it that way. There's a high potential that there's a foundation of hurt that's already in, underlying in that situation.
And we know this, y'all. We're not talking about what we don't know.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that don't like me because I left relationships bad. Yeah. I'm not always the best.
There's a healthy way to leave a relationship.
Mm-hmm. And I'm learning that in old age. I didn't know it in young age. I got people that don't like me right now for the way I left.
Yeah. But there's also like a healthy way to identify up front if a relationship is not conducive for you. Oh yeah. Like trying to make a relationship into a thing when you look crazy. I knew you was crazy before you.
You cute, but you crazy now.
You cute, but you got that little thing in your eye.
And see, that's that thing. Cause I don't.
But she's so
I
fine.
about to say, I like a little crazy though.
That's the problem.
Can I be honest? I like a little crazy.
And that's why we are where we are now.
I know. Jesus Christ, help me. I got to get that off me.
You got to get that off you.
God, I like a little crazy.
No, crazy is not in your future.
It's cute to look at.
Peace is in your future.
You know what I'm saying? It's cute to look at.
You know, crazy got like one eyebrow be higher than the other.
You can tell. Oh Lord, you can tell when
man.
somebody crazy too.
And they normally so fine.
So fine, but you can see it in their eyes.
Crazy.
Cause they give them crazy eyes when they look at you.
Crazy.
They give you the I can't live without you eyes.
Crazy.
They melt me.
On day 2.
Them day 2, I can't live without your eyes. I love
We
it.
done had 2 conversations.
Cuckoo.
Crazy.
Cuckoo.
Hey, yo, for more content just like this, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to Everything Give Me a Second on this YouTube channel. And don't forget to click the links below to watch other videos that are just like this.